Welcome to the YSPN Project, where Sikh values meet professional success. Join us on an exhilarating journey as we dive into the world of leadership, entrepreneurship, corporate success, all through the lens of our culture. From diverse backgrounds and various niches, we bring you the stories that inspire, the strategies that empower, and the wisdom that transcends industry.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the people across the globe. Welcome to the YSPN podcast, where we highlight the journey of some young Sikh professionals who are doing an amazing work in their professions by practicing uniqueness as a blessing. This is Manpreet Chawla, your host, and today I would like to welcome Dr. Balvinder Kalra, who's an endocrinologist practicing medicine in Melbourne and across regional Victoria since 2016. Balvinder was born in a beautiful town of Kanpur in India. He completed his specialization in medicine and he further sub-specialized in endocrinology by working across various hospitals in Melbourne. The sport that enlightens his mind and body is none other than cricket, and badminton keeps him on his toes when it comes to fitness. When Dr. Kalra gets some time to relax and calms himself, that is by listening to his favorite music. So welcome, Balvinder, to YSPN Podcast. I'm so delighted to have you on our platform.
Thanks a lot, Manpreet. It's a pleasure, being a part of this podcast. And thank you once again to all your team for inviting me today. Thank you.
So, Balvinder, tell me, I've tried to do justice by introducing you to my audience, but in case I've missed something in your introduction, would you like to discuss further about your background and everything?
Well, is there a specific question to it? Because else I think you've given the appropriate background to me. But yeah, so as Manpreet you've already mentioned that I am from Kanpur, India. And then as we go through, you can tell me, any specific questions and then I can answer.
Okay. Sure. So, Balvinder, tell me, was medicine always your dream? Like you always wanted to become a doctor, or there was some inspiration in your life that motivated you to go into this field?
So interestingly, Manpreet, I've got family of doctors. So my dad, he's a GP and he is a very renowned GP in Kanpur. And my elder brother, he's also a dental surgeon. So this is something which I have always grown up with, seeing my father in particular, because he was a big motivation to us, how he used to manage his time and how he used to make a difference in the society. Especially in India, how we've got a lot of underprivileged people as well. So while working in his clinic, he used to help the needy and the underprivileged, which really sort of motivated me to be a part of this profession.
So, which means while growing up, the toys that you played must be all the toys that the doctors sort of stethoscope and stuff like that would have been your favorite toys, right?
I wouldn't necessarily say that because, of course, I was playing the usual games which all of us would have played. Cricket, playing in the neighborhood and on the streets in India, which is very famous. But yeah, it was more about seeing my dad, talking to him, and at times visiting his clinic. Sometimes to be over there for some kind of an experience or motivation, because he used to call us at times just to experience and see what he's doing over there and how we can help the people. So I think you might think that in such a young age, would that make a difference? But I think at the end, it really made a big difference because it was never a pressure thing. It just came out to just come and sit for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and, see how I'm working and what we can do for the people. So that is something which I was doing from early age, I would say from standard 8th onward. It was not a regular thing. It was not a regular thing like I was going every day or so. But yes, it could be, once a week, fortnight, or a month. But I think that is where the inspiration came. And really growing, all I can remember is I never thought of any other profession because I was so much, fascinated by it. And I could see the sense of satisfaction. Although my dad was very busy, he's a very renowned physician. But I guess it is just the sense of satisfaction of helping people, which really was quite rewarding to all of us.
which is one of the Sikhi values, that service to the humanities. I guess by the way you're talking, your dad actually taught you one of that greatest values of Sikhi by working into his profession.
Yeah, correct. So I think that was a practical experience as to how you could help the humanity. Of course, we need to earn our livelihood, which we can do with any profession. But this is where I felt I could get best of both the worlds, where, I can service the mankind and at the
Yeah.
same time earn my livelihood. And so that was from dad, and mom always kept us going with all being more linked to the gurudwaras, to the part, learning
Yeah.
kirtan. So I think it's
Wow.
a very good blend because mom was putting those things in us and she was nurturing that basic of Sikhism, and dad was showing us the practical side of it.
What a great combination of parenthood they've provided you, with values and profession, and your vision was so clear at an early age where you were in just in what, year 8, and you were very clear where you wanted to head your life.
Yeah. So that was definitely, I would say, probably it was meant to be, but more than meant to be, the way they brought up us, all
Yeah.
of us, that was a big inspiration. And that was definitely the first thing we on our mind when we thought of our careers. And eventually for me personally, I didn't have any other second thought. I didn't have a second
Yeah.
choice. I couldn't think anything about more than this.
So tell me, if you come from a background of doctors in your family, what made you choose Australia above all the other countries?
So I did my graduation, which was MBBS, and then I wanted to pursue my higher studies, which was more like doing my specialization and doing super specialization. So that is where I was fascinated by coming to a Western country because you knew that the resources are wonderful and you could train really good over there. So that's how I had three countries in my mind. It was US, UK, and Australia. So this was the first place where I got my opportunity, and
Yeah.
that's why I came to Australia.
Landed up on the land of opportunities.
Yeah, I would definitely say that. And I'm really thankful that I never faced any kind of biased treatment because
Mhm.
I guess, especially in our field, in medicine, we have to progress only by giving exams and competing with the locals. So that was my journey where I had to compete initially by giving my fellowship exams, and
Yeah.
then you apply for your area of interest in your super specialty. So I did my MD medicine, which we all do,
Yeah.
and then to further subspecialize, there is a process where you have to compete with the locals, and there are certain stages to it. So I guess it was really, I was very fortunate, and by the grace of Vaiguruji, I think that's what I believe. It was more the grace of Vaiguruji that I was able to attain where I am now. So,
What made you choose endocrinology as a specialization?
so what happened was, Manpreet, that as a part of our training, when we do medicine, we do rotate around several subspecialties. And I was interested in some other subspecialties like gastroenterology and cardiology as well. But
Mhm.
those subspecialties to me, they were, there was a lot of acute care involved, emergencies involved, which would mean that it would take a lot of commitment more than your normal hours. And
Mhm.
I always wanted a very balanced lifestyle. I
Yeah.
wanted to balance because I love going to Gurdwara or attending the Sangat as well.
Yeah.
So I wanted something which can give me that balance. And with the endocrinology, I guess that was one of the branches where you could make that choice, where you can do the clinic work and not do after
Yeah.
hour work. And besides, it was the endocrinology in particular because this branch was very fascinating to me because you could see the results sooner. And it's very much like mathematical in my branch. Like,
Yeah.
when we do some blood tests or do some investigations, we can put them together and get answers quite sooner and sort out the problems of the patient quite efficiently and do something about it and make a difference. So that again, when being a doctor, if you can find solutions to patients' problem,
Yeah.
really feel that, I think that is the real satisfaction in this job. So I found that all those things I could do with this profession, with this subspecialty, and that's how I chose it.
Wow, that is amazing. So, Balvinder, what I've read about you is that you've done some great work across regional Victoria, and you've been doing that for years and years. You've been visiting regional Victoria, and you've got your own set of patients where you've built up that level of trust that they don't want to lose you as their specialist. So, what motivates you? Because living in a city like Melbourne and traveling every week after week to regionals and attending your patients can be very challenging sometimes. So, what makes you sort of continue this practice week after week? Is there like a particular motivation, or is it one of your Sikhi values that tells you that, you know, this is important, or how do you do it week after week?
Yeah. So I guess even there's a bit of a background to that. When we were doing our post graduation, when I was pursuing my specialization and sub-specialization, I still remember one of the bosses when I was working at Box Hill Hospital in Melbourne. He said, we are really deficient for specialists in the regional areas. And if you guys choose to do that, it would really help the community. And I guess that is something which really struck me. And I thought, well, Australia gave me a good platform where I was able to, attain what I wanted to do in my career. So it was time where I could, make a difference. And of course, I could have done sort of that in Melbourne, but again, in Melbourne, there is a lot of choice. But in regional, in Shepparton in particular, where I started, there was no endocrinologist from the last, like preceding 2 or 3 years. He had already left, and they didn't have anyone, and they couldn't find anyone. So that was one of the big things, which motivated me. And going over there, this is what made me feel like when I started practicing over there, I could feel that, I was making a difference in the community. People were thankful. A lot of people would literally say me that they are really thankful that I come from Melbourne to see them. And it also saves them all the travel. You just imagine, people coming 2 or 3 hours to Melbourne and then waiting for their appointments. So yes, not everyone comes and tells you the same thing, but definitely there are quite a few people who you could feel that they feel that gratitude. So that is what it has kept me going over there, time and time. And then even, the reason why I chose Shepparton, that was also because there was a Gurudwara over there, and I didn't want to miss my evening routine.
Yeah.
That one was one of the big things, because that was my first concern when I wanted to look at the job. Can I work in a place where I don't have to, miss my evening routine of possibly attending the Sadh Sangat if Vaheguruji allows that? So that was also one of the reasons when I started. And I think that also helped the Punjabi and the Sikh community as well, apart from the other multicultural, nationality people which are living in Shepparton. Because even our Sikhi, our Sikh population over there, they're a bit shy because they're mostly from regional Indian, and they were also not visiting, GV Health or any major hospitals. A lot of the time they would avoid it. And once I started over there, quite a few people met me in Gurudwara, and then they started coming to clinics as well. So all those things, you feel how you are making a difference to within your own, society, in your own culture and religion, and even outside that. Our religion preaches it's that Manuk ki eko jaat, where you're trying to help everyone. So I could feel that, that is the place where I'm making the real difference. And that is what motivates me. Even my employers, they have been very flexible with me. So they have accommodated whenever, if I can't come over there on a weekly basis, if it could be fortnightly, even then they have been flexible. So it was a mixture of everything, a lot of reasons that kept me going. Yeah.
Looks like you've been raised up with some strong Sikh values, which is helping you a big deal in your profession. And you're making every effort to make that difference in people's lives with practicing your values and teaching them the same. So, which is quite amazing. So tell me, like, a doctor's life can be very challenging with time management and stuff. So how do you do that work-life balance when you know that even though you're not on call 24/7, but at the back of the mind, the profession that you are into tells you over and over again that you should be ready for anything and everything because you're dealing with humans' lives. So how do you sort of balance professional life and personal life?
I guess the biggest example that I always saw was my parents. My mom and dad, they always, even till date, they manage their time so well and efficiently. Like dad would always, like in the morning, he will do his exercise as a regular thing. He'll go to the Gurdwara and then, attend his clinics. So I've seen them, doing it over the period of years. So definitely that is where I would say I'm still not as good as they are, but definitely even now, my mom and dad are still following their routines. That is how it all started, where I've seen them, how they have been able to manage time so well. And then I guess managing the stress for my work or personal life, I guess that could be one of the reason why I always feel like, in the evening, I want to go to the Sangat, I want to go to the Gurdwara and attend the Kirtan. I feel every evening when I go over there, when I come back from the Gurudwara, I just don't have any other thought in my mind. I forget my work. All I do
Yeah.
is that is where I feel the most relaxing bit. I could be overwhelmed with a lot of things during the day, but then once I go into the Sangat, I attend the Gurdwara and listen to the Kirtan. I think that's how it helps me to maintain my emotions, how I can balance my work and personal life as well. And besides, I guess it is a motivation that what parents did for us, I want to do
Yeah.
the same, where, I want to even help my kids get into that routine and spend time with them, talking about Sikhi, talking about our religion, how, that could be helpful in their lives as well. So, of course, Sikhism and, the principles that we have of Sangat and Kirtan plays a immense role. And I think, that's what I was telling you, Manpreet, that when I decided to go to Shepparton, that was one of the things. And that is possibly the reason I never want to miss Sangat, because it
Yeah.
just helps me to balance it so well.
And it keeps you going over and over again.
Because, as we say, physically, yes, we need our energy from food, but for your soul, you need that energy as well. And it is the energy of your inner self, your soul, which
Yeah.
helps you to stand stronger. And it basically it clears everything. Any problem, you can see it's a problem. In one end, you can say, it's a stress, it's a problem. But once you go to Sangat and you listen to the Gurbani where it says, is happening due to Vaiguruji's will. And jo
Yeah.
bhi ho reha ve Guruji de, then you just sort of leave it. You
Yeah.
understand, it's the Almighty
Yeah.
who driving everything, and He's the one who is going to look after. So this is where our Sikhi principles are so like they give you so much of clarity in your life, and if you really start trusting on them, I guess these things will just naturally come into you. Follow those, ask Guruji, pray, do ardas that Guruji jo pad rahe hain bani, that should come into you. You toda
Yeah.
pao, jo pao da jo the meanings hai that we can follow on. And if
Yeah.
He blesses you with that, things will flow for you.
Absolutely. Only if we could understand and inculcate that belief in ourselves that, how a child always believes in their parents that whatever they're going to do, they're going to do it for their good. Similarly, like since the time I've become a little spiritual and trying to follow this path, I've got that different level of confidence where I feel the Almighty is my real father. And if He does anything for me, has to be right for me, and just leave all your stress into His hands and you live a free life. And it all comes by having a strong belief system and the values of Sikhi, of servicing to the humanity, the equality, and living your life with honor and compassion. It all adds up to become a better person and a stronger person. So
Definitely.
it's amazing how you living your values in spite of being into a profession that requires attention to the humans 24/7, and you're still making it a point to go to the Gurudwara Sahib every single day and getting your energy from there, which clearly says that I think the driving force for every person would be their strong belief system. May it be in values, or for some people, it's in terms of fitness. For some people, it's their own careers and stuff. But definitely, I guess the strong values do add up.
They are the basis, they are the fundamentals of a strong foundation. So I couldn't agree with you any less.
So tell me an example of how you coincide your values with your profession when it comes to dealing with your patients. Has any of your value, I'm sure, like would have helped you to make important decisions in your profession?
Yeah, I think one of the key things that we talk in our, if you we talk in our profession, is honesty, which is a key thing. Because we deal with patients' health, and
Mhm.
breaking the bad news, or even talking to them about the treatment options. So honesty is one of the big things. How you can that helps you to, if you can follow that pathway, that is what makes it so easy for me to do my job as well, because I have to be very transparent and very honest with my patient in telling them what health conditions they have, what are the treatment options, what could be the side effects, so they can make the best decisions out of it. More than that, responsibility, which again, from our Sikhism, we learn that thing, and doing the right thing for our patients. So I'll give you an example. When I was working, and people see us, of course, with the turban. There were not many people when I started, and I'm wear my kara. So they asked me, why do you wear kara in your right hand? So then I
Yeah.
told them, so that it reminds us, because right hand could be dominant for you, and you're doing the things mostly from your right hand if it's a dominant hand, and you're wearing the kara to tell you that you should be doing the right thing for everyone you deal with. So that is something, when you share those values, your own cultural values, with the patients, and that really sort of even gets them involved, and that helps them to build that rapport, and they say, yeah, that's wonderful, what your religion is teaching you, and I'm sure,
Yeah.
doctor, you do the right thing for me as well. So because
Wow.
they are making a big commitment, like they are surrendering their health to us. So
Yeah.
I really pray to Guruji that with what faith they come to be treated, that he blesses me with that wisdom and that sense of responsibility, that I'm able to look after them. So this is one of those ways how I would be able to, like, I would say, how Sikhism time and time again and again. And see,
Yeah.
this could be in any work. It's not just in medicine. Yeah, we are talking more about medicine. It's my career. But in
Yeah.
anyone can do that in their any of their career, or any of the fields they are interested in. So those basic principles of Sikhism, honesty, responsibility, service, those things can really help us a lot.
Wow. So, Balvinder, tell me one thing. As in the corporate world, we deal with products, commodities, we deal with numbers and stuff. And when they go here and there, 9 out of 10 people stress out so much about concluding to the wrong results and stuff. So they sort of concentrate then more on the problem than the solution. And it's very hard to sort of, de-stress yourself and try and make your mind work towards the solution. Whereas you doctors deal with human lives, dealing in the surgery room or be it your clinical room and dealing with humans where there is zero tolerance for going wrong. So does that situation ever stresses you? And if not, what is your mantra of success of being calm in those difficult situations, like you mentioned earlier, that when you have to break the bad news? So are you guys, like, when you're pursuing medicine or into specialization, are you guys given those trainings to deal with revealing the bad news to the patients, or if something goes wrong, how do you rectify it? Like, how does it work?
So yes, we do get trained. We do get that little bit of training as well about how to break the bad news. Okay, and
Mhm.
this is more to do with cultural sensitivities and differences. In different
Yeah.
cultures, the bad news is broken in different ways. So definitely that is very much specific to a certain, cultural, very much focused on a particular population you are seeing. Saying that, yes, you feel all the time that, there could be a pressure about it. But I guess once you are doing a certain job, and if you can be honest, when you are doing your best, you are being honest in your efforts, and automatically I think it becomes a part where you stop stressing about what happens if I do something wrong, because in
Yeah.
your best efforts you're trying to help your patient. Okay, things might still go wrong, that is just a bad luck. Okay,
Yeah.
but I guess if your efforts are genuine, you're honest, you can always hope that things will turn out all right for you and your patient. And I guess after a period of time, so because when we start practicing, then of course it is more a pressure, because you're just
Yeah.
new into your practice. You're going to see your patient for the as a consultant, or you will be the person who is responsible for decision making. So yes, it is, but over a period of years, I think with your experience, and as I said, by just making sure that you are doing your best, putting in your utmost efforts, you just feel relaxed that, okay, you will do the right thing. And that's what we all
Yeah.
intend to do. As far as you're not being lazy, putting the work to, I think that is where you can make error. Say, for example,
Yeah.
if the results have come through and you say, okay, I'll see it later, you leave it, you forget it. So those basic human values, anyone in any profession you follow, I guess, and there will be challenges in any profession.
Yeah.
In any profession, there are its own challenges, own stresses, but these are the same basic principles. If you follow, I think you will excel in any field. And this is one of the things how, I think we stop stressing about it. When you are doing the right thing, and again, as I said, go to Sangat and you believe. And every day I do the same ardas. I say, I'm not treating the people. You are the one who's going to treat the people, because you've just made me a mediator,
Yeah.
and you are the one who will treat the ailments. So when you feel that way, that it is not you again who is doing the, who is making all these decisions, you leave it on him, and whatever knowledge he has blessed you with, you are
Yeah.
applying it. I think that just helps you to calm down.
So it's like when you accept and surrender to the Almighty that He's your guiding force, things will go right in your life.
That, plus, as I said, your best efforts. When I say best efforts, of course, now if you are a specialist or even a doctor, in you could be a general practitioner. So as far as you know your topic well, that is the basic,
Yeah.
that is our karma. Okay, we need to
Yeah.
do good in our field. Okay, we need to have that theoretical knowledge, we need to have that practical knowledge. So that once you have attained that, plus, so that was your karma. When you have done the right thing, you've put in your best efforts, those are your best efforts. Then
Yeah.
you say, okay, God, Babaji, Vaiguruji, I've done my best efforts. Now
Yeah.
you bless me with the results. So
Yeah.
that is what I expect any one of us, if we do that thing in our profession. That is when you just feel relaxed, because that's what a human can do, isn't it? He can't do anything more than.
Absolutely. And, there's like a very common saying in today's world that just to be positive, when people say, what, just do the best and leave the rest. So I guess that's what we need to start following in order to do the right things and achieve right results.
Yeah, you don't need inner conflicts. So inner
Yeah.
conflicts only come to you when you know that you have not done something right. So when you feel that whatever knowledge I could gain, I have done that, I have applied the best knowledge to this patient by being sincere in my efforts, you just feel, okay, this is the best. And I think it just, then the second part of this is relaxation. You just become a bit calm that I've done my best.
Absolutely. Like, there's like this famous African saying where they say that if the tree does not know how to dance, the wind will teach it, which clearly means that you live and you learn and you adapt to the changes and be open to the school of life.
Yes.
So, which makes it so easier.
Very well said, Manpreet, because that is how the learning goes. And especially in our field, learning never ends.
Yeah.
You might be doing 30 years, 40 years in our field, and then again you say, oh my God, this is something new, because every day there are new advancements. So we have to
Yeah.
keep yourself updated. And that is what you need, especially in our profession. You need that flexibility and acceptance that I need to learn more. And one thing, and I think Sikhi, again, if we go back to Sikhi principle,
Yeah.
Sikhi means Sikho. Sikh means a person who can
Absolutely.
keep learning. So even
Yeah.
if we apply that principle, if you are ready to learn every day, every time, I think then Almighty will make sure that you will be doing the right things for your patients, or yeah.
Absolutely. Like I came across a Sangat the other day. It was like, I think, few days back, and see what an irony of the situation that that Sangat was telling me, because I'm trying to, sort of practice those values in day-to-day life. So I love to learn from different sets of people, because life's all about constant learning, as you mentioned earlier. So that Sangat said that what you mentioned, Sikhi is always about Sikhna. You keep learning till the last breath. And the day you feel that you've learned everything, that day you become zero. And it didn't make sense to me back then. But while we're talking now, and I'm trying to sort of collaborate it with your profession, that how medicine is like a constant learning process. It never ends because there's new advancements coming every single day with where technology and science is going. So now it all makes sense that what that Sangat was mentioning. And this is again one great value of Sikhi, that if you are open to learning till the last breath, it actually makes life very interesting.
Yes, I totally agree with you. And I guess this is the way to progress. This is the way.
Absolutely. So tell me, Balvinder, I know like all the values of Sikhi have their own importance and their own greatness, and they teach us so many amazing things to become a better person. But what would be that one value that in general you would say as a message to the world, which would help them to become a better person? And when I say better, not because they're not like a good person, but better in terms of confidence and dealing with day-to-day stressful life, what would be that one value that would add up to their confidence?
I think kindness would be the biggest thing, especially in today's world where you're seeing, Manpreet, how there is so much of geopolitical tensions around. So if we can kind to others and to ourselves as well, I think this is can make a big difference, which is also one of the biggest principles in our Sikhi, where they say Tol Dharam Daya Ka Poot. So where it is so important, be kind to others and to yourself, which will help you to maintain that healthy life in and around you.
Wow. Some amazing things that we as an audience have learned from you, being a doctor, being a great Sikh, practicing those values in your lives and making difference to everyone in general has added up to so much today. Thank you so much, Balvinder, for your time today. I really appreciate that. I know being a doctor, you're always busy, and behind the backgrounds, you've got patients in your mind, even though you're not seeing them at that time. But thank you so much. I greatly appreciate your time.
Thanks a lot, Manpreet, and thank you to all your team who invited me and gave me this opportunity to express my views. Yeah, I am. It's really good that I'm linking to yourself and the team and the organization, and you guys are doing such an amazing job. And I'm pretty sure even I'm going to go on your site and try to see the interviews and try to learn. So I think we all can learn from each other. So that's really wonderful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. You have a great day.
You too. Take care then. Bye. Thanks, man.
Thank you for tuning in to the YSPN Project. Don't miss out on future episodes. Be sure to follow us on Spotify, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Just search YSPN to stay connected with our upcoming physical events in Australia and New Zealand, virtual events, interviews, and much more. See you in the next podcast.